Hi everybody. This is a video on the synthesized rhetorical analysis, which is one of the two revisions that you'll all be making for your portfolio, the other one being a paper of your choice. So I'm going to go over this file with you that you see on this folder. It gives you kind of specifics in the format of the templates that we've been looking at all semester long of how your new essay, which will combine all three mini essays and the reflection, might look. Okay, so starting with the introduction, and you'll see that really this is just taking the weird, like complicated original version of that paper and making it more simple. We'll start with providing an overview of your news topic. So most of you did a pretty good job with that in your mini essays, particularly in the first mini essay, when you had to give us a little bit of context about this news subject before you went right into that first article. I'd like to see you maybe expand that a little bit if your original overview was brief. Tell me what you think I need to know about this news topic, why it's important, why it's interesting. I'm assuming that you chose that because you think it's important and interesting. Then go over all three news agencies and authors, publication details. Go over the three together at once here. You're going to see that the trend for this is employing that technique of synthesis, which you practiced in your CRP, now in the rhetorical analysis by synthesizing all three of those articles. So we're going over all three at once here. And then you're going to end with a thesis statement. I usually put mine at the end of the first paragraph, but end of the second paragraph, at the end of the introduction section here, in which you explain the main differences between the three articles and the results of those differences. Remember, the key for the rhetorical analysis was starting with identification or explaining what the differences are, but not stopping there and going farther into analysis, which would be explaining what are the consequences of the way that these three articles are going about their rhetoric differently. Okay, into the body of your essay, and you don't need any subtitles for this essay like you did with the CRP, just transition into the body here after your thesis statement. You will start with your commentary on the rhetorical situation. Author, audience, subject matter, purpose, and exigence. Instead of taking one article at a time, now you're taking all three at once. You're synthesizing all three. So start by telling me about these three different authors, how one journalist is different from the next, how these news agencies are different. Use those key synthesis phrases like in contrast or similarly, that kind of thing that can signal to me that you're doing that synthesis. Okay. Next, bring in those two rhetorical elements. And again, you're synthesizing those three articles. So to anticipate a frequently asked question here, how much of the original essay can you reuse? How much can you change? You can reuse as much as you think you're able to reuse, and you can change as much as you think you need to change. So if you have 3 or 4 sentences in a row that seem to be able to be used in this new version, you can just copy and paste it in. But I encourage you not to hesitate to write new sentences to facilitate that synthesis, or to mix and match and rearrange things however you think you need to. Think of editing like this as not just kind of like moving around the furniture in a room, but it's bringing some furniture to the dump and buying new furniture, really renovating your essay. Finally, in the conclusion, which for some reason is in a much larger font in this, must be extra important here. So summarize the differences between the articles at the beginning of the conclusion. And for your conclusion, you're using the reflection that you wrote as your kind of raw material here. And then you can finish with that macro level commentary on rhetoric that you had at the end of your reflection here. And then, as always, your works cited. Okay, please email me if you have any questions. Remember that this week you are uploading your presentation to the discussion board and you're commenting on 3 other people's presentations. May the 1st is the due date for the final portfolio. I'll make, I suppose, one more video. And I'll see you tomorrow.